All right, class, give me 5. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, today, how's everybody doing? Everybody's good? All right, well, it's math time, so let's put our math hats on, okay? And last time we met, what did we discuss? Okay, we discussed about putting numbers into groups of 10 using base of 10 blocks, right? And we also talked about a number line. And when we talked about a number line, we talked about the numbers on the number line could be what? Both positive and negative, okay? And that 0 didn't always have to be on the number line, right? That you can start with 100 or you can start with 200, okay? But the increments between the hash marks on the number line had to be the same throughout. It couldn't jump back and forth and all around. Okay, so that takes us to what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about rounding. Okay, and we're going to use the number line to help us out with rounding. Okay, rounding is nothing more than figuring out what 10 or 100 a number is closer to. That's all it is. Okay, nothing hard about it. Well, maybe a little bit hard, but it's once you start using a number line, what we'll be doing here in a few minutes, okay, it's going to be fine. So why do we use rounding? Well, let's think. The population of Nebraska right now is 1,929,268 people. But no one says that, right? No one walks around blurting those numbers out unless, well, they're me, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to round, okay, 1.2 whatever, right? We just say 1.9 million people. That's it. It's the closest number to it. So we just round down, and that's what we do. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so what I want you to do is, while my helpers come up here and help me out passing out these graphic organizers, I want you to turn to your elbow partner and discuss other ways that you may use rounding in your everyday life. Okay, so go ahead and do so quietly at this time. Thank you. Okay, so does anybody know when you would use rounding in a real world situation, like in everyday life that you guys would do? Anybody? Any volunteers? Okay, me personally, I use it all the time when I'm talking to people about you guys. Okay, they would say, hey, how many kids you got in your class? Well, sometimes I have 19, sometimes I have 22, right? So I just round. Okay, I say I got 20 kids. I got 20 little guys or little girls in my class. Okay. Also, I'm going to use it when you're doing parties, okay? So mom and dad are having a graduation party for your older brother or sister, right? They say, well, how many people are coming? Well, we sent out 57 invitations, right? But we may have 57 people come. We may have 62 people come. We just say 60 people. Easy. And then we use it when we're doing time. You guys are running to the playground, right? And you tell your friend, I'm not going to be there in 7.5 minutes. You don't say that. You just say, hey, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. Okay, so that's when we use rounding. Okay, so looking at your graphic organizer that you have in front of you, write your name at the top of it. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to start walking through some of the ideas of what rounding is using the number line. Okay, so I'm going to draw the number line like you guys have it there, and then at each hatch mark, what I want you to do is put the numbers like I have right here. Okay, so just 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, straight across the number line. And then we're going to put a dot about right there, okay, a little bit past the 40, and we're going to draw a line down, and we're going to put 43, okay? So, the number 43, do you think it's closer to 40 or 50, and why? Okay? Anybody? That's right, okay. So, it's closer to 40, okay, so we're going to round down in this point, okay, because it's closer to 40, so we're going to round down. You can round up or round down. Now, when you're rounding, there's a key number to think about all the time. Does anybody know what that number is? Anybody? No? It's the number 5. Okay? Why is the number 5? That's right. It's halfway in between. So, if a number is less than 5, which way do you think we're going to round? That's right. You're right. Spot on. We're going to round down. Okay? If it's more than 5, what are we going to do? Yep, we're going to round up. So, what happens is at 5? Oh my God. Yes, I know. I'm sweating. I don't know what to do. We could go up. We could go down. Depends on the day, right? If it's a Wednesday, do we ever go down? Is it every other Friday? Do we go up? Anybody? No, that's right. If it's 5, the rule is round up. Okay? So if it's 45, in this case, if it was 45 instead of 43, we'd round up to 50. Does everybody understand? Yes? Okay. So moving on. What I want you to do now is I want you to draw another number line, okay? Underneath the 1, the graphic organizer doesn't have any more number lines that you can cheat on, okay? So You're going to have to draw your own, be your little artiste, okay? And what you're going to do, you're going to do the same thing I did up here. 10, 20, 30, and 40, okay? And this time, the number is going to be 18. So, which way are we going to go this time? That's right. We're going to go ahead and go to 20. Why are we going to 20? Because it's closer to 18, or 18 is closer to 20 than it is 10, and it's above 15, right? Or you can think of it this way. 18 is only 2 away from 20, but it's 8 away from 10. So which one's it closer to? And you always want to go closer, right? You don't want to walk all over the place. No. So, does anybody have any questions? No questions right now? Everybody's sure? Okay, so can a negative number be on a number line? Yes, it can, right? And that's going to help you further when we start talking about some other stuff. Now, what happens if the number isn't 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, but it's 100, 200, 300, and 400? And the number that we have to figure out is 278. Okay? Remember what we said about 5, right? But does 5 help here if we're rounding to the nearest 100? No, it doesn't, does it? But if you remember 5, what do you think we got to do to 5 for our halfway point? What's halfway between 100 and 200? 150, right? So our number is now what? 50 that we have to worry about thinking about. So in this case, 278, is it above or below 250? That's right, it's above. So we're going to go up or down? We're going to go up. We're going to go up to 300. Does everybody understand? This kind of gets a little bit tricky right now, so I just want to make sure everybody's good to go. Are you good? Okay. So what happens if it was... You don't have to write this on your paper right now, okay? What happens if it was 249? Huh? I mean, if I'm taking it to the nearest 100, what would it be? It would be 200, right? What happens if I took it to the nearest 10? Does anybody know? That's right. Actually, yes, it would be 250 because I said the nearest 10. When you start doing your assignments later, you're going to have to make sure you look at the wording of the question, okay? The wording of the question is going to be very important, okay? Because sometimes it's going to tell you, and it's going to try and trick you. It's going to say, I want to know the nearest 10, or I want to know the nearest 100. And even though the number is automatically 3 numbers, okay, they may not always just ask for 100. They may ask for the nearest 10. So you got to be able to watch and read all the way through the questions and don't just anticipate, okay? Remember, if you assume, it's not good for anybody, is it? Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? So, halfway point of each one is the number what? 5. Or we can add zeros to it, right? And then can positive numbers be on a number line? What about negative numbers? That's right, negative numbers can too. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pass out another organizer, and we're going to read the instructions, and then we're going to start going through it together, but then we're going to have a little interesting competition, so to speak, once we as we work through. Okay? All right.